Play.
Finally got the camera working. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Come on, we can do better than that. This is KW South Bay, right? Being here, I know with the weather being a little wonky, rain out there. I haven't been outside since I came in this morning at 7:30, so not sure if it's still raining. Is it? Doesn't matter. How many people were at today's Producers Mindset Zoom this morning? Okay, thank you. Thank you for being part of that. And it just really resonates the importance of what we do. If you want to be a top performer, you got to show up. And I commend each and every one for showing up. So, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's get started. You know how we do it at South Bay. Next slide, please. Our mission is to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows their lives, their best life possible. Our beliefs: when the value of your own company align with your own beliefs, you found your professional home, and our vision to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW remains the offices of choice. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. All right, next slide. All right, let's introduce Jaime with Retro Signs. Give him a round of applause. Marco for providing us with this amazing. How you doing, man?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm with Rapid Signs, national average sign company. We are located in Long Beach. We cater to the real estate industry. We are a KWSB approved vendor. If you guys are looking to get your signage, by all means, give us a call. We specialize in banners, commercial signs. We also offer the sign installation service. Now, by all means, I'm not here to offer you guys the best, cheapest on the market, because we are not the cheapest. We're very competitive. We can offer you good quality service and a good quality product. We are open at our facility Monday through Saturday. Saturday 9 to 1, only because a lot of agents who are in need of marketing material at the last minute can come and pay us a visit. We've got the generic brand Keller Williams signs. We've got all the supplies, frames, aid stands, whatever you guys may need. We also offer the printing on paper, business cards, trifolds, letterheads, envelopes. So yeah, swing by, pay us a visit.
How long have I known you? Oh man, we go way back. Way back.
Does all my signs and does great jobs on banners.
Yeah.
And banners.
I had my signs made there too.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great.
I have a leak banner.
Yeah, we've been around for about 10 years. A lot of companies that sprout up, come and go. We're still here. We're one of the very few. So
You call them those signs, right?
something like that. But yeah, me and Simon go way back, over 15 years. Back in
No, we go longer than 50 years.
about 10 years.
Yeah, it has to be back in the early 2000s or the late 90s.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You're right.
So he used to be in Santa Fe Springs.
Santa Fe Springs.
Yeah.
We ended up moving to Long Beach. We bought our own location, our own building, and we have a really nice big store with tons of marketing material that you guys might be interested in. If you guys are ever in the area, swing on by, check out the material. What I do tell the agents, when you're going to buy signs, either for sale or open house, a lot of agents don't even know what they're getting material wise. If you're in the area, swing on by. We have all the substrates that you can look at, you can feel them, see how heavy they are, and that way you can make a decision as to what you're going to get versus coming to my office and saying, hey, that's not what I wanted. Right? So if you're in the area, I always recommend you swing by.
They have a lot of good ideas for other signs too, so.
It's like going to an open house.
Yeah.
Signs and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I encourage all of you to check out his facility, because the one in Santa Fe Spring, it was like going into an open house. You had all of the displays, all of the A-frames and all that fun
Yeah,
stuff.
this one's triple the size.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What's the turnaround? Like, let's say if someone gets a listing and, they don't have a for sale sign, what's the turnaround?
Turnaround time is 5 business days.
Okay.
So I always tell agents, be ready with your marketing material. Even if you don't have any activity now, have it on deck, ready to go. Because you're gonna call me on a Wednesday saying that you need to sign by Friday, and then it's gonna cost you.
Do you guys still deliver or?
Yeah, we deliver here every Friday, so if you guys place an order, we'll deliver it here.
And is that part of the cost or is that? separate
That's
cost?
free, that's absolutely free.
How much is it for the installation? So
$43, and that covers the up and the down for up to 6 months. If we do your sign installations, what we offer you is, if you guys ever run out of signs and we service you for the installation, and you're in need of signs, we'll put you as a priority and get your signs done ASAP, so that your next system has signs. We don't have to wait.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
And just let them know you vote the signs too.
Yeah, we'll store the signs for free at no additional cost to you. Once they come back from being out on the field, we clean them up and they put them back in storage. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I appreciate it. Give them a round. Yeah. All right. Let's continue. Next slide. All right, just a friendly reminder, next Thursday, the Agent Leadership Council, better known as ALC, will be hosting a open house happy hour. Okay, lead, grow, and succeed, or success. So this is something that ALC on a monthly basis, we mastermind, we share ideas, and they thought, what best time to do so but to really introduce what they do on a regular basis. So I encourage all of you to be part of this. This is next Thursday, March 20th, from 4 to 6 p.m. Guess what? We're going to have some food and some. So,
you have me at home. Let's get
yeah,
going.
but it's also a great time to meet and get to know.
See, it's the alcohol lovers committee.
Ooh, yeah.
That's the other acronym. So love to see you all. I will definitely be there next Thursday here at the office. Cool. All right, I'm very passionate for the next slide. This is something that we bypassed last year. So for 3.5 to maybe 4 years consecutively, every quarter I was hosting here in the training room outside was the pancake breakfast. So I thought, as we close out Q1, this is a prime time to share what is one of my passion, and I'm really good. I'm a one-man show. It can feed all of you. I already have a system in place that I do. So yeah, love to have you as part of the festivities. Thursday, March 27th from 9 to 10. So get here early because I'm going to go in and quickly be completely done. Because I have appointments right after. So. Love to have you. This is just the stickiness and the culture that we have here is just to be back and appreciating all of you. So this is my thank you to you as well. All right. And great, it's not just pancakes, but it's also eggs and bacon as well. If you love bacon as well. So, all right. Cool. Next slide, please. All right. This is something that came out from KW International. So I think this is a huge win for KW. 5 continents, 55 regions, 290 plus market center locations, a global real estate powerhouse. Keller Williams is the largest real estate franchise in the world, home to more real estate professionals than any other company. As of January 2025, master franchise agreements have been awarded across 55 regions outside of the United States and Canada. So give yourselves a round of applause. KW Worldwide Regions, look at all these amazing. So what does this mean? This means opportunity. Clients are leaving out of the country, right? Retiring and, maybe relocating to Canada, Mexico, Turkey, Spain, South Africa, right? This is a great opportunity to connect with other KW agents. So it's just every year we just see more and more market centers being added to the regions and internationally. So I thought I would share this with you and just kind of provide you opportunities there. People from Guatemala are opening up a market center, France, Dubai. Who wants to go to Dubai? Such a beautiful place, I hear. So one day. But again, I just thought I could share it. And if you want a copy of this, this is a great listing presentation or buyer consultation as part of your arsenal of marketing here. We're just not just a local market center, but we're an international real estate company as well. So I thought this was interesting to share.
Should we ask Natalie? for that? Or-
Yeah, you can ask Natalie, she'll have it for you. Any questions regarding this? Yeah,
Question, so, I mean, I heard something about merger, would you be talking about that, or?
merger with, so there's been a lot of talk about the merger. You were not on the calls with Gary Keller.
No.
Okay, so I'll try to get the actual presentation and the reporting of Gary Keller talking. It's a huge win. It's gonna really empower, and we're gonna just be a stronger franchise company under, the new capital, I think it's called capital investments or something like that. But it's just to reinforce, and they also own different entities, including, our client relations tool, Alliance, what's the platform that we use for CRM? MLS? Longbook, thank you, Longbook. So all of us use Longbook as part of our platform, so that's gonna be even exciting that we're merging with them as well. So if you're interested in getting a copy of the actual conversation with Gary Keller talking about that, please send me an email and we'll send that over to you as well.
It wasn't Core Logic?
No, I don't think it's.
CoreLogic was what they had before. They were an investor in CoreLogic.
Okay, yeah. So it's exciting. It's a big win, in my opinion. All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, I wanted to have the guys talk. I know Matt is not here, but Javi is here. So Javi, give Javi a round of applause.
Hi, everyone. I'm better half. My wife calls him my work husband. I'm not here today. But what I wanted to announce is next Friday at 10 o'clock, Matt and I are hosting a Zoom on Prop 19. So we talked about it very briefly, maybe a month ago. And after the Tom Ferry convention, Tom talked about the silver tsunami. And so we wanted to do a little webinar for you, and you guys are more than welcome to invite your clients if they want to learn about it as well. I just upgraded my Zoom to be able to have like 1,000 people on there so that they can learn about Prop 19, what it is, how it affects them, how it affects how their children would inherit property and how it would affect their tax base, and then all of the forms that they would need to fill out in order to use Prop 19. So again, that's next Friday at 10 a.m. I'm going to be sitting over here, or you guys can text me and I can send you the Zoom link. My cell phone number is 562-217-9933. And again, I'll just be sitting in the back and I can send you the link for that Zoom.
That's it. Beautiful.
Thanks, Simon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
His teaching and his classes are always so spot on, so please take advantage of it. Reach out to him if you want to be part of that. All right, so now for the main event, I wanted, where's Brandon? Let's see Brandon, there he is. Let's give Brandon a round of applause. Yeah,
All I need help with is the presentation real quick.
okay,
Can we unshare and?
Yeah.
Can we go to the main screen? Can you help me get to the main screen and pull up my
let's see.
dog and pony show? You
Absolutely.
guys ready for the dog and pony show?
Yeah.
So how do we minimize this?
Question, let me see. Oh. No, this is a separate Zoom.
Oh, that's a separate Zoom. Okay. So we just need to minimize that real quick. I don't think you need to leave. I don't know how to, the view.
How do we, without leaving?
Oh, that's a great, anyone know Zoom?
Does anyone, hey, Nat, if you can get Rojo over here real
Just
quick.
press the share button.
Press the share button. Oh, so but see, I gotta get to this, Natalie, open that up.
Okay, I got it, I
Yeah,
got
you
it.
click on it.
There you go, let's click that little presentation. All right,
All right.
I'll let you manage that. How many of you have ever read the book, The Four Agreements? Woo! You guys are actually readers, the rest of you are waiting for the movie, huh? Okay, you got that? So Four Agreements, the premise of the book is around freedom, happiness, and love. Anybody need a little more of that?
Yeah.
A little more of that? And really what it boils down to is that each individual, your life is determined by the agreements that you make with yourself, with others, with God and with society. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
And so the basic, oh, we gotta go back here, sorry, we got ahead. Does this not work now?
Once you click, you gotta click the screen. Click the screen and then you can use the, yeah. Now you can use it.
Yeah, so that ain't working either. That's all right. All right, we're gonna, no, it's going the opposite way.
The screen and then you can use it.
Dude, it's going the opposite way. The heck?
Let me technology challenge.
Dude, but you can't even go back. There it goes. There we go.
Whenever you click out.
Gotcha. All right, so don't touch it, Flan.
I'm not touching it.
All right, so the 4 agreements, right? It's the first one. Be impeccable with your word. What does that mean to you? Do you tell the truth? Maybe tell the truth. Don't take anything personally. How often do you guys take things personal? Yeah, it is. Listen, the road to recovery is admitting you have a problem, folks. Raise your hand. You guys do take things personally, right? Don't make assumptions. And what's the last one? Always do your best. So not only is this a cool book, I was actually watching a presentation in a different industry. And just so you guys know, the past couple months, my journey has been meeting other companies and other individuals at large scale that do business with thousands of real estate agents. So I want you to understand, put your hat on, you want a big company and you have thousands and thousands of agents that work for you. What percentage do you think really work hard for those companies?
10%.
Way less than that. 3. Interesting numbers, right? But it's our perspective. And so what I did is I was thinking about these 4 agreements and the challenges that I see happening in our industry on a lot of different levels. I still enjoy doing open houses, and I'm just going to give you this little nugget. I do this very frequently. My icebreaker is tell me one thing you love and one thing you hate about real estate agents. And it's amazing the response that I get from the consumer. And it's not all very pretty. So what I thought we would do is work on 4 agreements that I think would be collectively good. Do this. Collectively good for us in the real estate industry. So you guys okay with that? These are our 4 agreements. And what I mean by that, if you read the book, and we're describing the agreements you're having with yourself, the first agreement is that you do good work and that you know you do good work. Is it safe to assume every buyer and seller or investor you meet assumes you do good work? You'd be surprised it is. The answer is yes. They assume that you're doing good work. How many of you have been licensed less than 5 years? Right? So there's a few of you. Mastery is 10,000 hours of intentional practice. And you're with an organization that has plenty of things on the calendar, plenty of great vendor partnerships, as an example. The key word is intentional practice. Now, if you did 10,000 hours and worked 40 hours a week, how many years is that? You want to know that now? It's just less than 5 years. So if you were to think about another profession, like a doctor, what's the difference between you being a licensed individual where people assume you do good work and a doctor? What's the biggest differentiator?
Education, degrees.
Practice. It's not only that they have an education and a degree, it ain't working. I'm telling you, it ain't working, bro. It's not working. You want to come fix it there? I'd love to do that. So if that's the case, and you have pressure to be in an industry where you're trying to make sales and make an income, but you don't have mastery yet, all of these things are going to be an integral part because you have to work and practice. I do good work. So a doctor typically not only has the schooling, but they have an internship. It's typically a minimum of 3 hours. And if you ask any doctor, especially that works in an emergency room setting, how many hours a week they're working, right? Ironically, if we look at another cosmetology, if you go interview and talk to a cosmetologist, do you think that they have skill and training? You guys know how many hours it takes for you to get licensed to be a cosmetologist in the state of California? 1,600 hours, Fred. You got it. How many hours does it take to be a real estate license? 45. So the first agreement is do you do good work? Is do you do good work? And how do you prove it? So how do you know if you're not doing good work? What's the worst thing that can happen to you as a real estate licensee if you're not doing good work? What are some things that would happen to you if you're not doing good work?
You lose customers. Not making any money.
Go ahead, raise your hand. What's that?
Oh, you're not making any money.
You're not making any money?
Yeah, you won't be able to close, you know.
Maybe you won't be able to close. What's the worst thing that can happen?
Lawsuit. Your license.
Lawsuit.
Oh.
So the worst thing you can do if you're not doing good work is get yourself into a lawsuit. Are you guys with me? But how frequently does that really happen? Not very frequently, because we have damage control, whether it's our mentors, our PC coaches, our brokers, our attorneys, right? We typically don't want to get into any type of a trouble. So what is it that you need to do? I'm not sure. How often do we talk about value and price? So the next agreement outside of you do good work is no matter what someone agrees to pay you, you always bring more value to the table. Most of us, if you have your consumer hat on, understand you're willing to pay for more things if you feel that it brings you more value. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
So one of the hardest challenges you have is that most people you meet in real estate are already doing their homework. Right? Maybe they're on Zillow, maybe they're on Redfin, maybe they have another experience. So what does that actually look like? Well, how do you bring more value to that? What does that look like? And I hear this frequently. I'm just giving you some examples. Are you the type of agent that brings value by letting your agent do and find all of the properties they're looking for? Are you the type of agent that brings value by letting them to go all the open houses on around? Where does that value come into play? Now, those are just a couple of examples, right? Maybe it's the connection that you have with the lender. Are they the right lender? Are they the wrong lender? Whoa, now I have no idea what just happened. Sorry, guys. Man, we're technology challenged here, bud.
Today, let me help you.
Thank you. Yeah, you be my clicker.
I will be the.
So what do you proactively do to ensure that you're not only doing good work, but you're bringing more value to the table? We teach a proactive agent model, which is a little more unique than the traditional model. Most advent agents are aggressively waiting for the phone to ring. You know what that means?
Classic.
Some people laugh, some people don't. Go ahead, next one there for you. Having the right vendors is critical. I not only teach a lot of classes, but Tammy and I have been doing business a long time, and we meet a lot of vendors who want our business, just like you meet vendors who want your business. Could you bring more value, and could you do a better job and know you do good work because you actually didn't just meet the right lender, you actually sat down and understood what value that lender brings. But have you guys ever heard the 3 lender rule, the 3 vendor rule? If somebody asks you for a lender, you're supposed to give them 3 business cards. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Did you know that's not a law? It's not a law. The idea is to protect yourself by giving you 3 options. The challenge you have is if you're giving somebody 3 lenders that you haven't even talked to and you don't even know how you do business, and none of those lenders do you a favor or your borrower a favor, did you just lose an opportunity? So the importance of how I do good work is there's a lot of industry in the industry that I need to learn about. And I also need to leverage my vendors, right? And Javier is here, and I've known Matt for a long time, Fidelity. They're another great ally because they're there chomping at the bit to get you to sign up to come learn things so that you can have better conversations with people so that you can prove that you're, what's number 1? Doing good work. Number 3, Simon, serving others basically means, right? There we go. We hold the needs of our own clients above our own needs to make money. Number 4 is integrity. That's where we're ultimately going here. So if I'm doing good work, is that building confidence? Is that building, right, some substance in what you're doing? If you had more confidence and you understood that you're doing maybe more than the average agent, could you be providing more value? Number 2. Number 3, which is probably one of the toughest, is are you holding the standards? So if we were to role play your sales pitch, what are the chances during that role play I'm going to hear things about you and not me? That's an example. So what's really hard as a brokerage is we're trying to teach you the industry. We're trying to teach you the tools and the resources. Yes, you have a glamour shot on your business card. Yes, you have all those things. But at the end of the day, who's it about? It's about them. So if I can get to this place where I'm actually considering them and I'm serving others and my value exceeds my price that I'm charging, could I possibly be doing good work? And at the end of the day, that fourth one says what? If you serve others ahead of your need to make money, you will then be selling with integrity. Now, back to these people I'm talking about that work with thousands and thousands of agents. The frustrating part for them is that everyone in their bio, every agent they meet emphasizes that they act and work with integrity. And so the question I have, going to go to the next slide, is how can you really be working with integrity and providing service if you don't know how to sell a business? Click the next one. What if a client asks you it's a good deal? What do you say? So if you think about the reverse engineering, click the next one, and what you're doing, think about, I got bills to pay, I got an opportunity, Simon told me I'm an advisor. Right? Just think through this, because I want you to understand part of integrity, part of serving others is also being able to say, click it again. I know someone that can do this better than I can. Sometimes we fail to ask for the right help in the right situation. I would never want anyone who's a licensed real estate to pass up an opportunity. So I don't want you to hear me the wrong way. What I want you to understand is, where are we going? Because the number one complaint that the people I'm talking to that have about us is that we're too salesmen, we don't know what we're talking about, and we can't back it up. And I can tell you it takes time. You're just not going to learn all this stuff overnight, but the intentional practice is leading to the mastery. Simon can tell you how frequently, as an example, we struggle. Is Eric here today? Audio, here?
Eric Clemens?
Yeah, I don't think he's here right now.
I saw him leave one more.
So an example of ascending as a real estate agent, and I was gonna single Eric out. He's now teaching Ignite. Like, if you want to get really good at something, become the instructor of that. Would be an example of mastery, right? Go ahead and click the next one. Keep going. Just go ahead and click through it, Simon. That's fine. So what do you practice every day? I don't know. You were told that you got into real estate for freedom. You want to control your own schedule, right? All of those things. How many of you guys would consider yourself a real estate producer? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. And do you work 10 hours a week? So the idea, right, is that this is our career. This is our process. What are we doing? Practicing. Do you preview properties? Do you write offers every week? How well do you know the process? Here's a trick question. You just went under contract, you represent the buyer. What's the next thing that happens after the contract is accepted?
Escrow.
Jim, you've been doing this too long. You be quiet. After escrow's open, what's the next thing that should happen? See, all the experienced people know, right, that these are the things that happen. What happens to you, Rosie, if the earnest deposit is in escrow in 72 hours? What do?
We'll put it inside the dwelling.
We kind of know.
Notice of default.
So we have this process. That's what we're talking about, right? Go ahead and click the next one. Back to that value and that pricing, right? More importantly, mastery, go ahead. Just click through it all. How are you really differentiating yourself? How do most agents determine the value of a property? CMA? How do most property owners determine the value of a property?
CELO or.
No, they don't look at
Internally
copies.
or-
So the idea is all of these things that or at least I'm trying to expose you to, is the opportunity, because of the perception people have of you, is really, really huge. And so we're talking about integrity, we're talking about risk management, we're talking about how can I get more referrals, how can I get more repeat business? All of those things aren't necessarily what you think they are, because you're in the industry. Sometimes it makes it about you. Does that make sense? You should have some ego. You should have some level of confidence. You should have all of those things. The question is, are you really doing good work? And if you were doing good work, would that put you in a better position to provide more value?
Yes,
And if you're providing more value and feeling good about that, are you genuinely serving others?
yes.
And if you were truly serving others, what are the chances that you're actually acting with integrity? Go ahead and click through.
Definitely.
So, I'm a seller. You're a real estate agent. What's your primary goal talking to?
I'm gonna get a listing.
And that's what needs to change. That's what needs to change. So let's play through that. You want a listing, how are you serving me right now?
sounding salesy.
So the point is, and it's just a short version, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. Absolutely want them on a listing. What I'm telling you is the industry shift is right here. It's having options. Have you ever heard of the hammer analogy? So if the only tool you have is a hammer, what does that mean? All of the problems you see are nails. You're one dimensional. And so to your point, that's what I want to bring home. Where we're losing is we're losing to people who don't have a license that do a better job of talking to homeowners than you do. Sometimes they're called wholesalers, sometimes they're just investors that are buying. And there's a whole slew of an industry, and I'm telling you right now, that has no problem talking to your homeowners first because they know the only solution you have when you talk to a homeowner is what? Listing their house. So I'm encouraging you to get out of that hammer scenario. Cash offer programs, we have Keller offers, we have Zoom Casa, those are options. Did you know someone that has a low interest rate mortgage on their current home probably has equity and they could probably rent it out for cash flow? Those are just examples of options. And if you had more choices, my question is, would your value increase?
Yes.
Would you be serving others and would you be acting with more integrity? That's my story. I'm saying. So that's.
So if you say as a agent, someone comes to you and you give them all these options, how do you know you're making money off of any of these options? I mean, do you go in there? Because as an agent, you want to make money, right? So how do you leverage off all these other options to cash out on someone?
Would you agree that this is a numbers game?
Yes,
And have you ever talked about anybody in the past who had the intention of buying and selling that never did?
yes,
And do you send them an invoice for your time and service?
no.
You don't. This, you pick a career path that says it's a numbers game. And then if I provide enough good work with great value, I'm probably gonna create my own market. It's just a numbers game. And at some point, as you get more experience, Joel, you're gonna realize that back to integrity, there's somebody that could probably do a better job because I don't really know what it is. I just don't want to lose the deal. That's what goes through our head. I don't want to miss the opportunity for the listing, but I have no right to try and help this homeowner because I don't know what it is, or the business owner, or the commercial. I can go on and on and on about all the variations. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't miss the opportunity. The question then becomes, should I maybe co-list with somebody who really knows what they're doing, or maybe I give them the listing and get a referral fee and make an agreement that they're going to teach me along the way. Those are great examples of me being able to stay and act with the 4 agreements that I have with myself. This presentation is just to put you in the mindset of each one of those. Do you have that agreement with yourself? And it's one of the hardest things to do because we have bills to pay. And to your point, we don't want to work for free, but we do a lot of working for free. And it doesn't matter the industry. You can be a salesperson on a car lot. You could be a salesperson at Nordstrom's. Not everybody buys. Would you guys agree with that? It's still a numbers game to a certain degree. But what I'm saying to you is that the perception that a lot of people have right now are not high, which is that's the change. This is the shift that we need to consider. There is a lot more money coming from Wall Street. You have tons of buyers and sellers out there that are waiting for the market to crash and interest rates to change. And while everybody's waiting, deals are happening. And you just don't even see it yet, Jim.
You gotta love what you do, people. You gotta love this job to succeed. Because the more you love the job, the more work you're gonna do, the more
All of it.
you're gonna do programs like Brandon showing you. Eric Claudio, you could tell the guy loves what he's doing. He's experimenting, he's going to all these fields. No matter what, he's doing licensed, but he's doing a lot of business. I think he was like our #1 producer for last month.
Yeah,
So you
Eric's
gotta love
doing
what
well.
you do. You gotta put a lot of time into it, even though you're not getting paid. And I mean, when I first got into this business, I remember working 7 days a week, 360 days a year, and not making any money. But you know, I absorbed like a sponge, and I learned, and then things started happening for me. You have a lot more to bring to the table if you have knowledge.
Yeah, appreciate that. Good work, value, it's called competence. Service and integrity is means you care. You can actually mix both of those, but you really can't care without competence. Think about that just for a minute. I don't want to put Tammy on the spot. Tammy runs our team now, but I will tell you, what it's like for her to be going into a transaction with someone who's not competent or cares, and how that deal work out compared to someone else who's very competent and cares. And I want you guys to be that person. It's, again, the industry is not going away, sales aren't going away, the world's not coming to an end, none of that's happening. But there are a lot of people that aren't doing any of the four agreements, and the consumer is begging for it. They're absolutely wanting that from us. And there are institutional buyers and sellers out there that are looking for the right agents. I'm just trying to share that information. There's some big points that come with it. So I hope that was worth your time. I appreciate you guys listening to me. It's very important to me that you guys find success, but it has to start with you. You gotta have the practice, and you gotta care, and you gotta do all of those things. And Simon, thanks for letting me.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it really resonated. From a team leader perspective, one of my primary roles is recruiting. And I always tell myself every single month, I'm only as good as last month. Because it's that reset button, right? That I have to chop away, blow more appointments, and recruit talent to the office, right? So what Brandon was saying just really echoes with me and resonates the importance. If you really want to do really well in this industry, you got to go out there and hunt for the business. That's simple. You know, Jim, 40 plus years. Myself, almost 30 years in the industry.
It's actually 65 years.
You look good, Jim.
We're fortunate to have people like Brandon who's passionate about his business.
100%.
Because when I first started this, I had nobody over here showing me on a screen what to do. In the first 10 years, you could ask that gentleman right over there. He learned on our own because we were hungry. We had nowhere and no direction to go to because the top producers wouldn't tell us how they did it because they worked so hard for what they were making. They wanted to keep it private to themselves. And then all of a sudden, after working 20-something years, this new company came out called Keller Williams. And they said it's better to share because together we earn more. And that's what the concept of Keller Williams, how it became famous. Because the top producers shared what they were working, and then they shared the profits in the company. So that's why we're such a success. And everybody is looking at this model and follow this model. Everybody in the business, all the real estate companies changed their motivation and started training their people and started sharing their knowledge. Because Keller Williams was the first company who ever did it.
Thank you for sharing, Jim. Was this great? Was this great? Okay, let's give Brandon a round of applause. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue with the next slide. I think we got Chris Rivera come up. No? Negotiation to lending. Now, let's see what good stuff we got.
Show me the money.
Yes, how you doing?
Good. We get to follow Brandon. That was a good presentation, Brandon. I wanted to say that was really good. All right, so let's start off with the rates. Rates have actually slid down in the last week plus. We feel they're going to continue to do that. Right now, I quoted out 6.5% on a conforming 30-year fix at 0 points today, this morning. Jumbo price and high balance, 6.75, 0 points, 30-year fix. FHA, 5.75. Rates are behaving for you guys. Now it's time for you guys to put together what Brandon said, get out there and start just generating business. The rates are behaving. They continue to do that. We anticipate the Feds at their next meeting to announce that they're going to do more cuts this year. We don't know it for sure, but the speculation is we're going to see at least 2 or 3 cuts going towards the end of the year, which is going to put further pressure on rates to come down. So that's good news for all involved, right? All right. So I wanted to tell you the bad news and then show you some other good news. So the first thing is a lot of people have asked for this flyer, 30-year fix, or I'm sorry, $30,000 grant program. it's exhausted.
Oh.
Yeah, they scale back to 15, there's another grant. That's the problem with grant money, is if there's a shelf life, right? And it's first come, first served. So if you've got a client that's looking for 30,000 or 50,000 or 15, there's no guarantee once you get into escrow that grant money is going to be there. That's the problem with grant programs. However, there's a state program out there that's been around forever. It's called CalHFA or Cal HFA. You guys want to know, right? I knew that's CHFA back in the 90s. The same program. It's been around, put on by the state of California. They do the most down payment assistance programs for first-time home buyers. It's a good program. I've done many loans through that. However, there's better loan programs out there. Nat, go ahead and change the slide. So I found this Smart Buyer Down Payment Program. It came out about a month and a half ago. There was only one lender that offered it. Now we've got 3 lenders. So we've got more pricing differential now coming out. And we anticipate more lenders coming out with this type of program. This is not a first-time home buyer program. This is a down payment assistance program. The client does not need to be a first-time home buyer. Let that sink in. Does not need to be a first-time home buyer. There's no income limits on this program. It goes off FHA guidelines, which means that we get to use increased qualifying ratios. There's a 3.5% minimum down payment that they're going to give to the clients. So it's 100% financing. They'll do conforming limits up to 806. They'll do high balance up to 1.209 here in LA County, which means on a sale price of 1.2, they can get this program. They're going to do it under repayable, where they can get 3.5% to 5% of the sale price. Think about that. 1.2 sale price, 5%, $60,000 that they'll be able to get for their down payment closing costs. They have a forgivable feature, but it's only up to a conforming limit, but they'll give them 3.5%. And after 5 years, it's gone. They don't have to pay anything back to the lender. It's only for purchases. It's 1 and 2 units, right? They allow gifts to help with the closing cost, or the seller can give them a credit. They will allow a temporary buy down as well. This is a great program to start pitching out there. It's not a grant program. This is just a normal down payment assistance program that's out there. So the funds are going to dry up. You don't have to worry about it. These are the type of programs that you actually want to get your clients into, because you don't have to worry about it once you ink that contract with the seller and someone tells you that there's no more money there. That's a bad feeling. So now go on to the next slide. I put together kind of a comparison. Actually, before I get that, let me show you an FHA loan, because some of you probably haven't seen it. So how did we get to those low numbers? If we had a sale price of $800,000, the client's going to put 3.5% down, which is 28 grand. We have a base loan of 772, but it's a government loan. So the government requires an upfront mortgage insurance at 1.75 of that base loan amount. That translates into $13,510. The client can either pay it out of pocket right at the close of escrow or finance it into the loan. 99.5% of the people finance, right? That's why the total loan amount is going to be $785,510. But they are putting 3.5% down. It's just that you're going to finance the upfront mortgage insurance to get to that loan amount. Nat, next slide. So now you know what the loan amount is. Even though it's 3.5%, we're going to finance that into it. So I wanted to pit this program against the KWSB program and show you the differences. Now, KWSB requires a first-time home buyer program. They are a first-time buyer. They need to be a first-time home buyer, and they will have income limits, right? But right now, they will offer you a 6.625 rate on a 30-year fix. But what they don't tell you is when you go to any mortgage person out there that's offered this program, they're going to hit their client with 1.5 points that they're going to have to pay. Meaning they're going to take money from the state to pay their origination fee. So here's the payment at $65.18, right? But you can see cash to close, the down payment was 28. Their closing costs just went up because they had to cover that 1.5 points. So their closing costs are 20 grand. Plus they got to establish your impound account. At the end of the day, they need to have 56.5. They will get from the state $28,000, but that first-time homebuyer program that you put them into, which is a really good one, they still have to come up with $28,500 to close that $800,000 mortgage. Versus this program, it's a slightly higher rate, But this is the forgivable 3.5% down payment program. The payment's a little bit higher, but you have an option if you want. You can pay 1.5 to match Cal and get a better rate than Cal if that's what you want to do. But as this is going, you can see that the client only needs to come in with $16,000. That's pretty good to buy an $800,000 home. They can come in with 16.5. These are the programs that I wanted you guys to see because these are the ones that are better for your client. Next slide. Cal does offer more money to help with the down payment, but when that happens, the rate increases to 7.375. This is straight from Cal's website, right? They will get a loan of $44,000 to help with the closing costs, but they have to pay it back at some point in time, right? Where this program will go under the repayable one of 3.5%. Yes, they are going to pay back $28,000, but you can see the payment is very similar. And they just reduce the amount of money they have to give back to someone by $16,000. And they just got into this home at $800,000, still with 16.5. So I wanted to show you guys these programs because a lot of people ask me for this one. They want flyers on this one, right? But as I've come out here last year, we had $50,000 for it. Got gobbled up in a month. This one lasted about 3.5 months. The 15,000, we're not sure how long that will last. But the grant programs aren't really your key to success. If you want to have sustained referrals, it's the clients that are able to close with good numbers and able to refinance them into a better loan down the line. So now that's it. Anyway, I wanted to bring this to you guys because a lot of people are asking me for the grant program, and unfortunately it's not there, but we have a lot of other down payment assistance programs that will help your client. And remember, no first-time home buyer requirement and no income requirement. Any questions? All right. Yes, thanks.
How do we get a copy of those numbers? Just email you, text
Just
you?
email.
Okay.
Just email me and I'll send you out the presentation and you'll get these numbers.
With this program, do they have to wait a certain period before refinancing?
Like all loans, 6 months. And then they can refinance. Now, it's an FHA loan, so if you want to get a new value to be able to refinance back into an FHA loan, FHA requires you to wait 12 months before you can refinance to get the new value of the appraisal, right? But if you go conventional, 6 months. Anything else?
If you refinance, you have to pay the amount back, the 15,000.
Yes.
You have to pay.
Right. And so you'll weigh that. How much of a payment reduction am I getting? How much do I have to pay back, right? Because I got that $28,000 or however much you got, right? It'll be case by case.
So they don't need a down payment, but what's the minimum that they need, like at least for closing costs?
Like in that case, 16,000. That's it. Right. So, I mean, it's a great program. I mean, they're buying an $800,000 home and coming in with 2% of their own funds. That's it. Right. And this will go to 1.2 sale price. I didn't show those numbers up there because I didn't want this to be lengthy. I just want you to know we will do a high balance conforming limit here in LA County up to 1.2. It's actually 1.29 or something like that. Any other questions? All right, guys.
Good information. Thanks for that. All right, I got 1 minute. I promise you we'll be done. All right, upcoming events. Next slide. We got the Women's History Monthly Panel, the Breakdown Blueprint with Jesse Coleman. So if you're interested, please scan the QR code. Give you a few seconds if you want. All right, next slide. And then Steve Gottlieb has his Q&A class every Thursday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Anything you want to add to it? Awesome.
Love to see you guys. If you guys have questions.
Yeah.
It's
Beautiful. Appreciate it. Okay, next slide. I think that should, oh, then we have Fernando, the Lunch and Learn with Bill Jones. Is Fernando here? I don't see him. Okay. So that'll be next Thursday, the 20th from 12 to 1:30 p.m. here in the training room. Lunch will be provided. Well, so no, Bill will not be here to visit. He's got a big time and I think he lives up in Europe. All right. Well, that concludes our team meeting. Thank you very much, everyone.